Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Dead with My Friends podcast. I am your co-host, Steve.
And I'm your co-host, Nick.
And on this episode, we're going to be talking about John Carpenter's classic, The Thing, 1982.
So, Steven, it's been a while. We're back. We
Yeah.
took a little bit of our holiday hiatus, but it was much needed, right?
Yeah, you know, the holidays are busy. The New Year's busy. Trying to get our things on track. You know, everyone's trying to get their shit on track coming in the New Year's. And, you know, the last time I was down here, I unfortunately gave Nick COVID.
Yep.
And we're all cleared from that. It's been a crazy 6 season. I know that we said that like last time, but fucking everything you can imagine has been thrown my way as far as exposures. But I've been hanging strong since getting COVID back in Thanksgiving. So, but it's good to be back, brother. Like, I'm happy we're here. We're in person. We got friend of the show, Dan.
We got Dan Boy here for the weekend. He's off
chilling.
camera producing.
Yep, producing, chilling. And we're talking about a fucking great film, man. A fucking
classic,
heater.
dude.
A classic.
Some might say John Carpenter's best.
You know, that's a hard one to argue. And we'll get more into it as we talk about the thing. But you know, it's just good to be back. It's especially in person. Like, we love shooting way more in person.
It's always a fun weekend.
Yeah, we make a weekend out of it. It's like, yeah, we get down to business, but also we're chilling, we're kicking it, we're watching a shit ton of good movies.
I went fucking crazy on the Severin and Vinegar Syndrome sales, so we got a lot of shit to fucking choose from.
Yeah, a lot of choices. I haven't been going as hard, but like, you know, there's definitely Second Sight has put out some sick box sets that I have to get. I still got to get the Quartet of Horror era fucking Hellraiser, and Severin also re-released in 4K UHD, Burial Ground: The Night of Terror, with the fucking Michael pillowcase.
Yeah, the Peter Bark pillowcase.
The Peter Bark fucking intense look. I have to get it.
Sorry, babe.
The
Peter Bark pillowcase stays on during sex.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I got to pick that up. I'm a bit behind on my pickups, but you know, I'll slowly.
Burial Ground's a good flick. I can't justify fucking upgrading to the 4K because I have the 1080 Severin one, the most recent one, or the first one that they had put out.
That was my first ever Severin release. Was that
was a good one, man. It's an interesting one.
Yeah,
maybe we'll cover that one day.
Yeah, I would love
do that.
to fucking talk Burial Ground.
I would like to too.
Hell yes,
so
because it's just such an out there movie. 2024,
we're gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
But I'll say, man, you know, the little break that we took. I
Much
mean,
needed.
Unfortunately, we didn't have anything. We had anticipated recording an episode in January. But you know, things didn't work out. It's all right. So then we just decided, we were like, hey, we're just gonna take the month off. And I mean, it's the second week. It's the second to last week in January now. So this episode is gonna be dropping to kick us off in February. But we'll be back to our bi-weekly format for the rest of the year. Maybe over the summer we might end up taking another like little bit of a thing, because like we're gonna have VHS Fest and things like that, and we're gonna be pretty busy. But we're going to be pretty good with at least releasing one episode if we do decide to take those off, but no big deal.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a break. We need some mental health time, so.
Absolutely.
But I'm feeling fucking great going into the new year, dude. I really am, man. I feel rested and refreshed and focused.
Yeah.
I feel really focused.
I'm in the same boat. I feel very focused. I feel refreshed. And I just want to get shit done and just continue to see the show grow and just do cool shit together, you know?
Yeah.
And just be attending all these 6 shows that are happening in the Hudson Valley, which, like, real quick, Escuela Grind just came through, I want to say a week ago now. It was on a Wednesday night, the night after my birthday, and they played at Middletown Quinpins. It was a pretty solid turnout. They were happy with it. All of the bands on the bill were sick. The Boys in Sick Bay opened up. And then it was this band Slow Pulse from Texas.
Cool.
And then this other band, Com Mierda, from New Jersey, hardcore punk band. And
what is it?
Com Mierda. Yeah, they're sick. Hardcore punk band.
Shit.
Huh?
Mierda means shit in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, it doesn't mean eat shit in Spanish?
Yeah, like come eat
Come?
shit. Yeah, yeah.
Come mierda?
Come mierda. There you
Yeah,
go.
eat shit.
Eat shit.
All right.
Hardcore punk band from New Jersey. They were
I like
sick,
it.
and then Escuela Grind fucking headlined. And you know, I was like a little worried about the turnout because like this is a tour package coming through on a Wednesday night, so like
Yeah.
you were hoping for like a good turnout, and it was pretty solid, and they were happy with it. Escuela was like, "So this is Middletown. This is the Hudson Valley. Good shit. Good shit. We love the energy." And like we all just tried to bring it, like throwing down in the pit and just fucking just having a good time, and it was a sick show. So I'm hoping to see like more shows like that come through the Hudson Valley, and then like you know the this new band Cross of Disbelief. They just got on Ephra Records, which is a shoot off of Days. And there's just so many good fucking shows happening. And I know I'm going to be missing on one of them right in my backyard of Kingston because we may be going to Monster Mania Con.
Oh, I'm going.
I'm going. But
Joe Dante's gonna be there. I gotta meet Joe Dante.
I have to meet, dude. I have to meet Tom Atkins finally and
Mhm.
Michael Ironside.
My
Those are
dad.
like, yes, Uncle Clarence. But you know, thankfully though, Cross of Disbelief is going to be playing with Balmora up in Albany with Missing Link, so I'll be able to catch that show. My boy Jeremy and I from Sick Bay, I think we're gonna carpool up,
Cool.
and I'm just looking forward to like shows in 2024 and just shit we're doing with the show.
Yeah, no, same, man. I'm definitely excited about just going out and having like a lot more fucking adventures and experiences and shit. Like that's a big thing of mine that I really want to implement into my life going into the new year is just just going out and gaining more experiences. I've been somewhat of a homebody for like these last couple of years, and with the feeling the refreshed and everything like that. I just want to go out more. I want to get out there more. I was telling you before how in March I just got tickets. I'm going to see Batman in concert.
That's really cool.
So they're
So
doing.
is Danny Elfman like composing?
I wish he was going to be there. No, it's just I don't know what orchestra it is, but they got a full fucking orchestra.
That is really cool.
And they're going to be playing the score alongside
over the movie.
That's
really cool.
Shout out Epic Film Guys because Justin, he's obviously a huge fucking Batman fan as well as I am. So whenever he posts shit about it, that's how I found out about it because he had.
Is he going to the same exact one or is it different?
No? Because they're down south as far as I know.
Okay.
But no, they're doing like a road show for it. So yeah, I'll be attending that. And then next week, me and my boy Andy, we're going to see Oliver Tree in concert down in the city, dude.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I got a little bit of shit coming up in Monster Mania. We'll have VHS
yeah,
Fest.
definitely Monster Mania Con, VHS Fest, and just again like all of the show. Like 2024 is starting off, for a good year for Hudson Valley shows. So like a lot of like local bands are getting put on like bigger bills. Like my dudes in Stifled, Coop, their drummer, he does all my tattoos. They're fucking opening for Dead Heat on a Monday night up in Albany, and I might fucking go up.
Oh shit!
Because that's really big for them. Like Dead Heat's fucking sick.
Yeah,
and they've been on the grind, and everything kind of happened quick for them because they're all experienced musicians, and I'm just so fucking stoked for them.
Yeah, they kind of did because I remember when you had told me that he was starting a band, and then not long after that you were like, yeah, they're on shows. They got like EP and stuff, right?
Yeah, they got an EP demo. Put out on Brown Table HV. They got like cassettes and shit, and shirt and shit. But
That's good. They've been in the work, man.
They've been putting in the work, hopping on a bunch more shows, and them opening up for Dead Heat. That's a sick opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for them. Yeah. And like, yeah, it's a Monday night, and I'm probably gonna be fucking hating it the next day. But this is really big for them, and I want to be up there to support them because I watched that band form in front of my eyes, like going to shows with them at the Grange. They all just like linked up, and like it's sick. So yeah, I can't wait to see all of the shows, especially like once the spring and summer hits, like what shows come through the HV.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be attending more shows as much as I can. I was recently just up in Poughkeepsie, and I sent you a picture. Reason and Ruckus was like
that's a
like
great
a
new
block
venue.
away from where I was.
Yeah.
So, I love Poughkeepsie.
It's the gritty city.
It is.
The shadow of the city, as fucking Jay from Mind Force would say.
It is, man.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I worked on the Attachments music video with Thony and Jimmy, his brother.
Hell yeah, dude, their shit is good, man. Really catchy music.
The Attachments are fucking great, man.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I was able to be a part and work on that video. So, sometime in February, I think February 15th, they're going to be dropping that music video. So, I don't know the calendar, so I don't know how this is going to line up. So, no, this is going to drop before that drops. So, yeah, check out the Attachments music video coming out February 15th. We'll definitely be reposting that shit on
Hell yeah.
our Dead with My Friends page. So another thing I want to mention, man, is as far as like ringing in the new year, man. The first movie I watched of 2024, Godzilla -1. I went out to the
Hell
theater.
yeah.
Matt, his wife Sam, Josh, and Brendan, dude, fucking, we all went out, man. We planned it the night before. Me and Matt were shooting the shit for hours about movies and stuff. And he's like, I think I'm gonna go see Godzilla -1 tomorrow. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll be there. You spoke very highly of it on our Don't Open Till
favorite
Christmas
movie of
episode.
2023. My favorite movie in probably the last 5 to 10 years.
It was an incredible movie, man. You know, me, I love Godzilla. I love kaiju. But you are way more of a fan. Like, you are way more like in the knowledge as far as like that shit goes. I am more or less like, I wouldn't say a passive viewer, but in the terms right now, I would say I'm a passive viewer when it comes to Godzilla movies, man. But dude, that was an incredible movie. Not only because of like Godzilla, how great he looked, and just how he was in the movie entirely. Because like you said, they went back to the old
The roots of
the
it,
old
of him
roots of
being
Godzilla, where
a-
it's
a
like he's
force
not
to
the
be reckoned with.
anti-hero
Yeah.
like they portray him in the legendary films.
Mhm.
He's more of like, how would you describe him?
A force to be reckoned with.
Right, where he's destroying
absolute
cities.
destruction.
He's unhinged.
Yeah.
You know,
The true, like, scary, evil Godzilla.
he was scary,
Dude,
man.
right? This is like the scariest depiction of Godzilla I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, and just like, I'll piggyback off of what you said, man. Like, even if Godzilla was not in that movie, it still would have been a really fucking good movie because the story that they had come up with that coincided with them literally just throwing Godzilla into
Yeah.
the movie. You know, the time period was great. I like that they never came out of that time period because I thought that like there's not going to be any spoilers when we're talking Godzilla -1. Just
Yeah, because
just so you
Dan
guys
hasn't
know.
seen it yet, and real quick, they're just releasing for a limited time Godzilla -1 minus color, so it's going to be black and white.
Yeah.
And Dan and I are going to go see it next Friday because he's still yet to see it, and I'm like,
Fuck,
I want to
wish
see
I
it
could
again.
Go. I'm gonna see. Maybe I could actually. No, I'm gonna be at a concert next
Yeah,
week.
I wish you could come.
So
That'd
I
be
don't know.
sick.
Maybe I could hit it during the day because I'm taking off. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
you're
I'll
going
make
to
it
just
happen.
go solo fucking?
I'll go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take myself on a little date, get
Hell
some
yeah.
popcorn.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm
It'll
all
be a
about
good
taking
time.
myself on dates.
I would love to see that, dude. It's gonna be incredible. I can't wait until they fucking release it on a fucking.
There's already a
Blu-ray.
steelbook that's been announced. It looks
Ooh.
pretty sick. I'm hoping it'll have both versions on, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool. They
Yeah,
did
that'd
that
be
with
really
Mad
sick.
Max. Dan, you remember Mad Max? The high octane. No.
Ooh.
Remember when I was looking for it like crazy?
Was that when we were at that FYE New Jersey that was closing down? Was that?
Yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
for it like crazy because but dude, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't watch it. It hurt my eyes.
Really?
Yeah, I ended up buying it at Amoeba Records out in California when I went out there. Shout out Amoeba Records.
Yo, that is
the
one
best.
place I need to go to.
They moved it though. It's not in the
Oh,
same
it's not in the
location
same
anymore.
location.
No. Dude, every fucking day when I was out in California, I went to Amoeba Records.
Didn't you run into Christopher Nolan there?
Yeah, I ran into Christopher Nolan there, dude. It was,
He was with his son, right?
yeah, I don't know if I ever told this story. Did I ever tell this story?
I
on the
think you
show?
did, but for those that haven't maybe heard, it's okay if you want to refresh.
Yeah,
it
so I
real
went
quick.
out to California. I'll just like try to do like a fucking Cliff Note version of it. So I went out to California. I was hanging out with my friends Hugo and Loris Melchior, two amazing French filmmakers. Definitely look into them, Melchior bros. So I went out there. They had come to stay in the States for a couple months just to, hang out, check it out. So I went out there, went to Amoeba Records. I was fucking walking around looking at movies, and I had picked up this Alfred Hitchcock collection. I walked around because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to buy it or not. Decided I didn't want to buy it. Went to go place it back on the shelf, and there's a fucking guy standing there, like, looking through the Alfred Hitchcock shit. And I'm just like, damn, like, I don't want to be one of those motherfuckers who just leaves movies out of place
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
those things, right?
Yep.
I'm going to respect the workers and respect the environment and put that shit
I
back.
used to do the same thing at FYE, like put it back where it belongs.
Yeah, put it back where it belongs. So I don't want to be rude because there was this guy standing there looking at fucking movies with his kids. So I was like, I had a chip on my shoulder. I was like, motherfucker. I'm like, I just want to put this back. Go walk away and everything. And as I'm walking back, I got to look at the guy, and I'm like, looks very familiar. Where have I seen this guy before? And I started like racking my brain as I'm like walking around. I'm like, that's fucking Chris Nolan. So I pulled up a picture, and I'm like, I had to verify. I'm like, that's Chris Nolan. And I was like thinking about it. I'm like, should I go up and talk to him? Should I just go, like tell him, just like go and meet him or whatever? But I've always heard about like respecting the privacy of like those kinds of people and stuff like that. And I was like talked out of it, and I didn't say anything to him. But a cool thing was just to validate that it was actually him. Was there was a big Dark Knight box set that was like displayed, and he walked past it and stopped his son. And he looked at it, and they both laughed and walked away. And then, dude, he vanished like Batman.
Yeah.
So that was me crossing paths with Christopher Nolan. But, dude, it was so surreal though, man, because like you don't often see you'll see movie stars and shit like that, and the movie stars matter, but because like of me and the filmmaking and things like that, I so much like geek over fucking a director.
Yeah.
The brains behind the whole fucking thing, man. And yeah, you don't often see them. And that's like a main reason why I really want to go to Monster Mania to meet Joe Dante, because Joe Dante, bro, is a legend.
Yeah, I mean, come on. The Howling, Gremlins, Piranha, The Burbs.
Yeah.
Fucking name it.
Dude, you fucking name it, man. He's got skin.
I just want to ask
game.
him, like, I know I'm probably not going to pay to meet him, but I'll hop online with you. But I do want to ask him, like, how awesome was working with Dick Miller on all those movies.
Dude.
Because Dick Miller's the fucking man. Rest in peace.
The character actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He played the garbage man in The Burbs. Is that Dick Miller?
I believe so.
Is that it? Yeah.
He definitely was one of the neighbors for sure. Actually, yeah, in The Burbs, he was one of the neighbors.
Was
he?
he?
He said Corey Feldman was a fucking shithead.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
A
yeah.
little fucking prima donna shithead. Yeah.
Man, I love Corey Feldman.
Listen, I mean, I do love, like, his 80s flicks, but, like, Corey Feldman is, like, oh, my God, dude. That Corey's Angels, which, real quick, you heard about that Limp Bizkit show in fucking Woodstock, right? There's, like...
The legendary one, like, from 90...
No. There's a show coming to Bethel and Woodstock. It's Limp Bizkit, a couple of other bands, but one of them is Corey's Angels.
Corey Feldman's gonna be in Bethel?
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence.
No, you're
I
going.
feel
Dang, we're going.
Lawn seats are not that bad. I
What
mean,
are they going
Alex
for?
gonna
50,
go.
$60? Alex going?
Alex, yeah, he's a big
I'm
Limp
going.
Bizkit fan.
Yeah, I want to see
my
Limp Bizkit.
My boy Joey Sauce wants to go.
We're
but
going.
I
Why
don't know,
wouldn't
we'll
you
see,
go?
man.
Everybody's going.
I think because it seems like it's really close to VHS Fest.
So
I mean, we'll see, man. I mean,
well, VHS Fest is the priority.
yeah, always the priority.
So, if that's the case, then I will not be attending. But if it's not, if it's a weekend before, weekend after, around that time, as long as it doesn't fall on VHS Fest, I think I'm definitely gonna fucking go to that. I gotta see Corey Feldman, dude. It's so funny.
I just want to watch him make an ass out of himself on stage, and then like watch Westmoreland fucking riff.
Oh, dude, I love Wes.
Dude, Wes
fucking
rules.
I just recently listened to an interview on Pauly Shore's podcast. Shout out Pauly Shore.
Always.
You know I love Pauly.
Yo, big Pauly Shore guy over here. Always.
So Pauly Shore's got a podcast. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but Corey Feldman was on, and he was playing like a new song. I was kind of into the song. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of into it. I'll play it for you after. You're gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah, dude,
I know you are.
I've seen like his performances on like talk shows,
He's
and I'm
cringy,
just,
man.
Oh, I
unfortunately,
get secondhand embarrassment, and it's like I don't know the fucking guy, but I'm embarrassed for him, and he's just so.
But he's doing it,
out of the loop. I mean, I'm not one to crush someone's dreams, but man, I don't know. You just gotta be self-aware, brother. And this
I
ain't it.
suppose you're right. Yeah,
This is
yeah.
not
Kind of
it.
take a look in the mirror.
It's
Yeah.
very cringy.
But yeah, he dropped some knowledge that he was actually supposed to be. You ever see Encino Man? Brendan Fraser, Sean Astin, Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, it's been fucking
that's a
years.
good one. That's a
That's
really
a
good
that's a
one.
major revisit.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I used to watch that shit on repeat when I was a kid. Man, I loved it. It had like all three of my favorite actors at the time in it. Anyways, he had dropped some knowledge on that show, which I thought was really cool. That he was supposed to actually play the Brendan Fraser character of Linkovich Chomalski.
Oh, I'm happy it was Brendan Fraser.
So yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, he was supposed to be in that movie. Did not know that, so pretty cool. But I like me some Corey Feldman. But yeah, no, he was a great character in The Burbs. Joe Dante, yeah, definitely gonna meet him. But yeah, just like the fucking meeting of the directors, man. I haven't really met many, to be honest with you. John Carpenter I met, fucking that was great. Crazy, you know that.
Yeah, that
It was
is.
just recently his birthday, and
Yeah,
he was a really
75th.
nice guy, despite what I've heard a lot of people say. You know, he was a really nice guy. Clive Barker. Met Clive
Oh,
Barker.
Clive was such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love that man.
And then, you know, like some filmmakers that have been directors, but it's different.
Yeah.
So anyways, man, I mean, is there anything else that you want to say?
Nah, let's talk The Thing. We got this nice fucking Arrow box set that both you. Well, this is your copy. I
Yeah.
have the same exact copy.
First
it's winter.
First ever Arrow purchase of
This
mine.
was your first
Was
ever
this my
Arrow?
first? Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
this was the first Arrow that I had ever bought.
Mine was Slugs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mine was Slugs.
Yeah.
But yeah, this box that I think it got a 4K UHD upgrade. It might have, but you know, I still have this one. It's fucking perfectly fine. Yeah, it's winter, man, and we finally our seasons are a bit delayed.
Yeah.
And but we got a good fucking snowstorm like 2 weeks ago, like over a foot. And I was like, Nick, it's winter. I kind of want to talk The Thing. Like, you know, this is our first episode back after a little break. Let's come in strong.
Yeah, talk something that kind of goes with the way that the weather is right now.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like you said, it is.
And it's been rather cold. I know we had that polar vortex dip in
Yeah.
fucking central US, and like it's just it's fucking it's been cold, it's been snowy. It's like fuck yeah, let's throw on The Thing.
And it's one movie that I've always loved. It's got a great cast of characters. The fucking plot is great. The visuals are fucking absolutely insane. Special effects by
Score.
Rob Bottin.
Oh my gosh, Rob Bottin, which like him being 21, like
Young man, dude.
insane, because these are some
of the best effects I've ever seen. Some of the best practical effects I've ever seen in a fucking movie.
I second
sure.
that, brother. Seriously, the best practical effects I've ever seen. 21 years old,
Yeah.
1982. What the fuck, man? Insane. Great score, which shockingly it's not Carpenter.
Yeah, one of the only movies that John Carpenter has not scored of his own.
Yeah.
Ennio Morricone, who is a famous Italian film composer.
Like you said, great cast. You got Kurt Russell, Keith David, you know, fucking you got Dean Cundy on the fucking camera.
Yeah.
Like,
The Dean Cundy John Carpenter combination is unmatched.
legendary.
It is a legendary.
Yeah.
It's just like the cinematography is beautiful on it. And like I mentioned, and the camera work is fucking insane on it too. So good, man. Like John Carpenter just has like such a style, you know, and like when him and Dean Cundy work together, man, it's like it's bliss, dude. You know, like it's just it captures the eye in a way, you know, unlike any other dude. Like you could see the fucking chemistry, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was like talking to you. I was like, oh man, I'm like the lens flares in some of these shots, dude. Just like the lenses that Dean had picked for this. I'm just like, chef's kiss.
That, and like also I was pointing out like the painted backgrounds and stuff, like when they're looking at like they're discovering like where the UFO was and
Right.
everything. It's just like so fucking beautiful, and it's just like everything now as far as like background visuals, it's all CGI'd, where it's just like this is true filmmaking art right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you know, for one, you're implementing not only being like on location. I don't think they were. They definitely weren't in Antarctica. They definitely shot the exteriors in Alaska, I want to say, but I'll fact check that. Dan, can you fact check that real quick?
Where was the
The
thing
shooting
shot?
location
Yeah.
for this is you being the producer,
Yeah.
not on TikTok.
Well, Dan's fact checking us. Do you want me to read the synopsis?
You want to read it?
Or actually, you read it, man. This is your copy.
It is my copy. Let me just go over this box set for a second real quick. So it's got dope artwork. I think I'm a big fucking stickler on the artwork. It's got crazy limited edition content, brand new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, so it looks great.
Looked
So
absolutely beautiful on your 65-inch 4K TV.
thank you. So even though this isn't 4K, you're still getting such a good fucking picture on it. Did you find it? What does it say?
The thing went through several directors and writers, each with different ideas on how to approach the story. Filming lasted roughly 12 weeks, beginning in August 1981. It took place on refrigerated sets in Los Angeles, Alaska, and British Columbia.
Okay, so Alaska and BC.
So yeah, I knew a lot of the interior shots. I didn't know about the whole freezer thing. But good to know. Yeah. So you not only do you have them implementing it being on somewhat location in Alaska for the exterior shots, but you're incorporating, the outpost base, great interior. The way that's all mixed and everything like that's fucking great too. But then you're also mixing incredible practical effects as well as painted backgrounds and things like that too. But it was perfect in my opinion. So what else do you get in this? You get a booklet.
Always love those Aero box set
Yeah.
booklets. Real nice, cool fucking
Yeah,
pictures.
if you ever can,
Write-ups.
if you ever can, always go for the fucking limited edition box sets. It comes with a poster too. Ooh. Did not know this. Sometimes I don't even fucking look at these.
Yeah, usually the one side will have the original
Yeah.
poster, and then the other side will have the artwork from
original
the box set.
poster. I used to own an original poster of it. I regrettably had sold it.
Yeah, I can't believe you sold that poster.
Dude, hard times sometimes. And then you get lobby cards, and lobby cards are always my favorite aspect of it. I really want to do something cool, do shadow boxes or something like that with the lobby cards and stuff. But
Yeah.
I figured it was just it was worthwhile going through the contents while Dan fact checked us. So thank you, Dan boy, for hooking us up with that. So yeah, I'll read the synopsis, and then we'll
just get into it.
All right, so The Thing, 1982. So the tagline on the top is "Man is the warmest place to hide." A research team headed by R.J. McGrady, Kurt Russell, finds itself menaced by a terrifying, shape-shifting alien out in the snow-blasted wilds of Antarctica. With the creature loose in their base and able to assimilate into any organism it chooses, the tension within the team reaches breaking point. Any one of them could be the Thing.
100,000 years ago, it found its way into our galaxy. Trapped in the frozen wasteland of Antarctica, it could not escape. Now the men of Station 4 have made a monumental discovery. An alien creature had frozen, but not to death. And man,
it isn't Benny,
is the warmest place to hide.
It's a solid write-up. Arrow's always got the good write-ups.
Yeah.
But
Very easy write-up.
Movie starts out, we got this fucking research team in Antarctica. They're at their fucking post. But we get the shot of before we even get to like the research team, actually, there's the shot of this helicopter chasing a beautiful husky.
Yeah, beautiful Siberian husky.
Fucking taking shots at it, and you're like, what the fuck? You know, if this is like your first watch, and this dog makes it all the way.
Great way to open a movie too, because you're just
Yeah.
kind of like, what the?
You're
what-
just thrown in.
I mean, have you ever seen that anymore? Helicopter chasing a dog in Antarctica, and
Yeah,
they're like
with a
shooting at
fucking
it. You're like, what
sniper,
the
like,
fuck
what
is? You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
So this dog must have been running for miles.
miles. It's later revealed, like, you know, there's no way a fucking actual dog can
Yeah.
run that long in 40 below fucking weather in Antarctica.
No,
for,
I
like,
would never have
miles
survived.
upon miles. No, never.
So the dog ends up at outpost. I think it's outpost 31, and this is where Kurt Russell and all the players in the movie are. So the dog ends up at their base, and then the helicopter starts fucking storming in, and starts shooting at them. And then these guys are like, "What the fuck is going on here, dude?" Because like this is crazy abrupt.
The whole fucking research team hears the gunshots, and so they're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And this dog comes up to them, and they're like, "What the fuck? Why are they shooting at this dog?" And then one of them, I can't remember his name, with the red hair, who's bald. He takes a shot to the leg.
Fuchs.
No, not Fuchs. I think it starts with a B. Briggs. No.
Hold on.
All right, fact check me. There are a lot of characters in this movie, so bear with us. We got to kind of
Bennings.
Bennings. I knew it
Yeah.
started with a B. Okay, so
Yeah, there's a lot of guys on here.
Yeah,
you know
lot.
we know Childs,
and we know fucking
Keith
Mac
David.
and fucking Doc.
Yeah.
But there's so many. There's fucking Clark, who is like the dog handler.
How many fucking guys are like?
There's at least a fucking dozen. You got fucking
it?
Palmer, who's my favorite.
Palmer's
but
cool.
Windows.
Yeah.
Which
Childs.
Windows was Fox from fucking the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Good cast of guys.
Good
They all
cast.
have like their own personalities and
Yeah.
things like that, and their own ways that they like contribute to the outpost and everything like that. So they're like doing like some scientific research while they're out there, and
Yeah.
then the Norwegian helicopter. They start hearing the fucking gunshots, and they go out, and then I think like one of the Norwegian guys hops off of the fucking helicopter, and they're like starts trying to shoot at the dog, but he starts like saying some stuff in Norwegian, and my friend who's Norwegian actually told me about this, that everything that the Norwegian guy says kind of gives away everything that happens in the movie as far as like what the deal is with the dog. I don't remember exactly what he had said, but it's like, get away from that dog. You know, are you stupid? That dog is not human, or something like that. Like he just like tells them that the dog's not human, but obviously they don't know.
We had found out like the actual quote of like what he said. Dan looked it up because he was curious too, but essentially that's what it is. And yeah, so Briggs takes a shot to the leg from the Norwegian dude, who like, you know, just misses the shot on the dog, and then it becomes like a firefight because fucking Gary, you know, he fucking takes a shot and takes one of them out right in the fucking head, by the way. And then like the copter just like crashes down and shit, and it's like all flames. And I'm like, what the fuck, are we at war with fucking Norway? Like, because they're cut off, you know, they're all the way up in Antarctica, and it turns out like they haven't been able to get a radio signal, so they have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Right. And even if like there was anything going on in like the other outposts, like the Norwegian outpost, like there could have been like distress calls or anything like that. And like there's a prequel to this from 2011. Steven, you said like you've probably been like halfway through it, right?
I totally overlooked it. I think I got like 30 minutes in. It was like, I'm not fucking vibing with this. I thought it was a remake, and I was just like,
I initially
did
thought
not
it
know
was a remake
prequel.
too, and I wasn't about it.
yeah.
But the way that it ends, I mean, it's from 2011, so I'm just going to spoil it. The way that it ends is exactly where it picks up in the original thing. So everything that happens in the Norwegian post and over in that area, all those questions are answered in that.
Yeah.
So you see from there, from that aspect.
And it kind of makes me want to revisit. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, if we have time later, we got a lot of movies we're going to watch.
see,
Maybe
we'll
if we
see.
have time, because I kind of want to check it out too.
Okay.
I've seen it in theaters back in high school, so it's got a little bit of a special place in my heart. But I thought it was good. But I don't think they really use much practical effects in it or anything like that. So I digress. So now that all this shit had happened with the Norwegian helicopter and everything like that, like there's a lot of fucking questions that need to be answered. Like what is going on over there? So Kurt Russell and a couple of the other dudes, right? They
Yeah.
decide that they're gonna fly over there and they're gonna fucking go and investigate to see what's like going on.
Yeah, I think it's Mac, which is Kurt Russell, Doc, and Gary.
Yeah.
Take the trip out to the Norwegian outpost to see what's up, and then they roll up and they realize like
There's smoke bellowing
Yeah.
out and
Just a
you can see it in the
disaster.
distance. It was a great fucking visual.
yeah, we get to see like a body of like someone who like slashed their own throat with a straight razor.
Yeah.
But like the blood coagulation, it's all frozen and shit, so it
Yeah,
looks
just
really
like
cool.
hanging
Yeah.
from his arms and like dude, like this place is like covered in fucking snow and frost and dude, there was like nobody else even there either. There was just like the one dead guy, and then outside, when they're leaving, they see like the smoke starting to clear, and then we just like see like this fucking. How would you describe it?
Like
this,
almost like some mangled fucking human like organism.
yeah,
that is
not
all-
human, not
Yeah, not
Just-
completely human,
you
but
can't
not like
tell.
some human attributes.
yeah.
And it's all fucking twisted up, charred, mangled, just fucked up. And they're like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
And I think
It's-
that's where we get like the first glimpse of like the twisted face, the iconic twisted face.
Right. And
Where-
Kurt Russell says like whatever it was, they burned it in a hurry.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
So then they decide that they're gonna bring it back to the outpost because like they need to investigate like what the fuck this thing is because they have never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And I've never either. So just imagine like fucking being like seeing that, dude. Like that's gotta be super shocking.
Hell yeah.
you
Because
know?
like we had also like mentioned like it does a close up of like the twisted iconic
Yeah.
face. And it's just like you had mentioned like look how much pain that
Yeah,
person probably was in.
dude. One of the eyes. Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
Like it was all fused together and stuff, and I was just like, dude, there is so much pain in that fucking guy's eyes.
Yeah. It's such a fucking sick image. So yeah, they bring it back to the base camp and keep in mind that fucking dog that was on the run that's chilling there because this dude Clark, he's like their dog handler. He's got like a bunch of fucking dogs in
Yeah.
a big kennel.
Big heart for the pups.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
good boys.
Yeah. And that dog's just lingering around, you
Yeah.
know, just chilling while they're all kicking it.
They end up bringing the whole fucking questionable mangled body
Yeah, they
back,
do, like,
and
Sorry.
Blair's doing like an autopsy on it.
Yeah.
But he like finds that it's like a healthy being. Like it had a healthy heart, it had healthy lungs.
Yeah, so like one of the Norwegian bodies, totally like that isn't all fucked up and mangled, just totally healthy, no drugs in the system, no nothing. So it wasn't like this person knew what they were doing when they were taking shots at the dog.
Right.
And
they
shit.
weren't like of like unsound mind. you
Yeah.
know?
And then they do the autopsy on the fucking questionable organism, and like it's got human organs that are like perfectly intact and just like it's like, well, it doesn't look human, but it has human organs, and it's just like, you know, we got to do further research on it. So they decide they're gonna fucking put it like in a storage room and just kind of keep it covered up while they, you know, do some more research on it. And again, we just got this random dog looming around.
Yeah, you don't think anything of it.
No, you're like, oh, what a cute boy or girl. Wait, I don't know what. No, they say good boy, right?
It's probably a boy.
Yeah. A fucking beautiful husky.
Yeah.
All right. But there's something about this husky. You know, it's just like, again, why were they trying to kill it? And we see a shot of it like go into the room of someone. We just see the silhouette of a person.
Yeah, somebody's like sitting on the bed, and the dog walks up, goes in the room, and then you could see the silhouette like look over, and then it does like cuts to black,
Yeah,
and then we're in the next scene.
Yeah, and
So-
they're in the rec room, downtime, chilling, and I think Briggs gets startled by the dog. And he tells Clark, he's like, would you get that mutt in the cage? So Clark's like, yeah, come on. And he brings it over, right? And all of the other dogs in the kennel are just acting fucking weird, getting all startled. And this dog's like apprehensive to go in, and it's just something's off with it, right? So everyone's chilling, and then Clark goes back to check on the dogs, and the dogs are like freaking the fuck out. So he's like, what's up? And that's when we see like the fucking husky starts to split open its
The head
face and
splits
shit.
open. Yeah.
And it's like Dan pointed out, like the fucking skull
Yup.
comes off, and then all these like tentacle things start coming out, making this crazy noise, which reminded me of any time Pumpkinhead was on screen with like the dense fog and shit.
Yes.
When you knew
Yup.
Pumpkinhead was coming, it's like the same exact sound design. But this thing fucking mutates into some crazy dog-like flesh monster, and it's like got all like the dogs all tangled up in its fucking tentacles and spewing some fucking gooey slime on one
Yeah.
of them.
And these dogs are freaking out and they're trying to get out.
It's
And
fucking insane. And Clark's like, "What the fuck?" So he hears the rest of the team hears all this commotion. They're
Right.
like, "Clark, what's going on?" They're like, "There's something fucking in there, and it's fucking pissed off." And you just see all the poor dogs getting devoured and shit. And this thing fucking it just goes through so many like morphing stages.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, these giant fucking claws come up and it like attaches itself to the ceiling. And
Yeah.
then Max like tells Child, "Get the fucking flamethrower." And they're like blowing off. They're like taking shots at it, man. It's fucking insane. That's when you're like, oh shit. Like for the first time watchers, like you see that scene and you're like, I'm fucking in for something.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
crazy.
The whole transformation, you
Oh
know?
my God.
Why do you think it did that though? Do you think that it was like trying to like get into another dog?
Yeah,
Like,
so it was absorbing the other dogs, but Clark caught it like midway.
right.
It hadn't completely absorbed it because that's what this thing does. It absorbs your cells and like
Yeah.
and takes on the form of you.
Right. It assimilates to your cells and it can imitate any kind of organism.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
and they had just happened to caught it like mid change, so it's all fucked up and gnarly looking. And again, the effects by Rob Bottin are just top notch, masterclass shit. Like for 1982, again, coming from a 21-year-old,
Yeah.
like my mind is just fucking.
There was a
broken.
lot that happened with the transformation though,
so
man,
much.
you know?
Like I said, between all the tentacles, the goose spewing, the fucking claws protruding, and then it fucking attaches itself to the ceiling, and it
Yeah.
just
Jumps
looks-
out of the ceiling too.
Yeah. So they fucking Childs comes in with the fucking flamethrower and they light it up, or I'm wearing the Crow shirt. They fire it up,
Fire it up.
fire it up. Yeah, but it's crazy. So they fucking they fire the thing up. They think they destroy it, and they're like, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck did we just see?" Everyone's just blown up. I mean, how the else would you fucking react to something like that, man?
So now they have another specimen, and Blair is starting to autopsy that now to see like what the fuck is going on. So like he says he's like not human, thing's not human, not a dog either. He's like, but we caught it mid transformation. So he starts drawing blood and everything from it, and he's gonna start running tests just to like see like what's going on, because it's like the visual that you end up getting when it's on that slab is like some dog, some other thing. Like you can never like really like the mid transformation is just like so weird. You know what I mean? And I had even mentioned that because like as time goes on, we start to see like other transformations. Once it starts assimilating to other some of the other characters, because obviously that does happen, but it's just like anytime there's like a transformation, or it's just like you can't tell like what the fuck it is. It's like the thing doesn't have like a form.
Yeah, it always takes on the form of something
Yeah.
that's fucked up and mutated, and
None of it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just
Anatomy wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
It's not like your run of the mill alien.
So as Blair's running all these tests on the fucking dog transformation version of the thing, again, we've got that other specimen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he starts to realize that the cells can like
Assimilate to others because
assimilate.
he's running a simulation.
and we see that other thing is thawing out.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, it fucking I think it's Windows goes and gets keys for something, right? From Gary. And Briggs is left in there. And next thing you know, when Windows comes back, fucking Briggs is like huddled in the corner acting fucking crazy.
Yeah, and you see like all the tentacles and things are like wrapped around him.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah,
all
that's it.
slimy
Yeah,
and
it's all
shit.
he's
Yeah,
all
with the
fucking
KY.
slimy.
Oh, it grosses me
Because
out.
you
the
see,
KY.
well, actually, going back when Windows enters the room, you see all the coagulated blood and like where the organism was, it's not there. And then you see Briggs all wrapped up in the tentacles
Yeah.
and slimy, like you said.
And then Windows goes and he like gets the other guys and he's like, yo, something's going on. And then they go back, but Briggs is gone.
yeah, but then they see that there's a broken window and they look through and there's just Briggs running through the fucking 40 below fucking, because they're getting hit with like a fucking blizzard.
Yeah.
And
This is a scene you like very much.
Oh
You
my
said
God.
that
Okay, so,
it had a
yeah.
very impactful visual.
So the
when you were a
first time I
child.
saw this movie, I was like 16. I think I caught it on Showtime Beyond. You know, it was just one of
Showtime
those.
Beyond,
yeah,
yeah.
man, it was just one of those nights where I was kicking it home, and you know, I had Showtime and caught it at the start. And they go and they suit up and they chase after fucking Briggs, and Briggs is just like on his knees, hauled over, and then the camera pans and like.
And they're all surrounding him and they got the flare and everything.
Yeah, and Briggs has got like these crazy ass fucking like black eyes and his hands are all fucked up.
Oh, dude, he looks like there's not a soul in
terrifying,
him.
dude. Like, and then he does this, like, just fucking so creepy.
And he was also kind of like in mid transformation too,
yeah.
because did you just mention the hands?
Yeah, the hands,
the
hands,
long
yeah.
hands and shit
Yeah,
like that.
so
Yeah,
that
super
thing is
creepy
in
and
mid
weird.
transformation after absorbing Briggs. And let me tell you, the first time I saw that scene, I was fucking creeped out. It still creeps me out to this day, man. Just that blank, black-eyed stare
Yeah.
from Briggs and the sound it's
Just
making.
wasn't a human being anymore. Like whatever the fuck took him over, like that was not a human being inside of that body anymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could.
So
see
they
that.
kick over a barrel and they fucking torch Briggs up. And they're like, fuck, okay, it's like, it's taking on the form of others, you know. So, again, we got more questions. They're back in the outpost.
And now they're starting to get paranoid about one another because they know that this can assume the body of anybody.
Yeah.
So,
Because, like, there's a moment where Blair and Clark, they're, like, checking on the dogs or something. And Blair's like, how long were you with that first dog that came on camp? And
right.
Clark's like, I don't know, like an hour or so. And he's like, why the fuck are you looking at me like that? He's like, oh, it's probably nothing. But then
Blair was definitely right to question him about that, you know,
Yeah.
because he spent the most time with the dogs.
yeah.
And the dog was the one that brought this fucking thing to the base.
Yeah, because
So-
now, you know, again, they realize, oh, this can take the form of us. And that's where all the paranoia starts to set in because Blair, again, he's got all of these fucking notes and then he runs a simulation.
Right.
And
I jumped the gun with that, but
Yeah, he runs that simulation where he realizes like it could just take the forms of other things.
Mhm.
And that's when he starts running other simulations of like if this were to get to like the vast majority of the population, like how long before it could take over, and it said like 37 hours.
yeah, something crazy like that, something quick.
Yeah.
And then it also said that it can take over like 75% of the guys on the outpost, which is probably like majority of them. It's almost
Yeah.
100% of them. So then he starts to like fucking freak out about it.
Yeah, Blair starts losing his shit, and he's like, we see a shot where he like pulls a gun out, and you know everyone again they're still processing everything that happened with Briggs and shit, and starting to question like, well, you know, if this thing could take the fucking form of like us, like what do we do? And that's where like, what is it? Blair like fucking snaps and he starts like destroying fucking all the radio communications and shit because he's like, no one can get out, nothing can
Yeah,
get in,
we're not
no one
leaving
can get
now.
out. We're not
Yeah.
leaving. You guys fucking may think I'm crazy, but like and like downplaying like other aspects of this, but no one's fucking getting out because after I just ran the simulation, we're fucked. So
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere.
He's got a lot of good dialogue during that scene as well. And I really like the fact of how unhinged he is at that point and how no bullshit he is because Childs comes in and he like tries to kind of like have the voice of reason and like without even thinking for a fucking second, dude, Blair goes and like shoots the fucking. He's like, I'll
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
kill
Blair's
you.
just he's lost his shit. And also, what's his name? Blair's assistant starts with an
Fuchs.
Fuchs. Fuchs is like, you know, going back Fox. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Fuchs and Mac, they're having a discussion about Blair's notes and shit. And while Blair's having this freak out, like, they hear the gunshots, they all rush over, and fucking Windows is in there because Windows' main job, Fox from the Warriors, his main thing is like communications and getting radio signal. And keep in mind, they haven't been able to get in touch with anyone for like 2 weeks. Winter has just started. They're fucking hit with this massive
It's the first
snowstorm.
week.
The first week of winter, all the shit's going down. And they're supposed to be there till spring. Yeah, they're like something about the rescue team is maybe we should hold out till like the rescue team comes in the spring for us.
Yeah, well, they kind of like think that the situation's kind of like rectified and everything like that, and then they're like, yeah, let's just like hold out, and they're like, we're not going to be able to fucking hold out.
Yeah,
And
while Fox and Mac are having that conversation in that fucking excavator like machine, that's when Mac sees Blair run off. Because remember, Blair destroys not only their communications, but their way of transport. He destroys Mac's helicopter.
Yep.
And so now they're in this situation where one of their own is losing his shit. They've realized this organism can take the form of others that are like them. And now they have no transportation because Blair destroys the fucking helicopter and also one of the like the snowplow things that because Mac sends Childs out to check on the other transportation vehicles, and so Blair's fucking destroyed it all. And they finally are able to get a hold of Blair because he runs out of bullets, and they fucking ambush him, and Mac knocks him the fuck out.
He takes the axe.
Yeah.
And he tries to fucking hit Kurt Russell with it.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's got the table that fucking parries the fucking axe swing. And they take him out, they knock him out, and they bring him out to the tool shed where he could be secluded.
Isolated from everybody else.
So that way they can figure out what the fuck. That's when they're like, well, we can make the decision of, I think they suggest, of waiting for the rescue team in spring, but Mac's like, no, fuck that. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so Mac has like taken on the lead role because Blair was kind of like the top dog.
Yeah.
As far as like
although Gary kind of acted like he was the fucking top dog sometimes.
Yeah, no, he wasn't though. I see Blair as like top tier now. Like somebody needs to like take control. But they also have that discussion as well. As far as like who should be kind of like in control. So they want to appoint I think his last name is Norris. And he was just kind of like, I'm not up for that. And then Kurt Russell's like, fuck it, I'm taking control of this shit.
Yeah, because Childs wants it too, but Childs is short tempered.
Yeah.
And Clark and Childs, they're having a bit of a power struggle too. And
Mac's got a level head.
Yeah, Mac's like, I'm taking charge of this shit, right? And then I think Doc brings up the whole like blood test. So they go to the medical room with the bags of blood. And they realize...
Oh, yeah. Because they're like, well, how are we going to... Well, Childs brings up, he's like, well, if this thing can assimilate to any one of our bodies, how would you be able to tell if I was not myself? And then, they're like, okay, well, it can attach itself to blood, so like let's like start testing... Let's start testing everybody's blood. And then I think it was Fuchs was like, oh, yeah, we already have... blood samples, and you go and you find out that they have been sabotaged and they're leaking out and everything like that from the refrigerator. So they're fucked now.
Yeah, they're fucked because Doc realizes he's like, I'm like one of the only persons that has like access to this, but...
And now they're like questioning like who had access. Yeah, exactly.
It's down to two because you think about, because Doc's got access to it, but Gary is always the key holder, and he's always got it on his belt.
And then Blair also.
And Blair, which they've got secluded. So they're like, well, all right, leave Blair out there, but you two motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
And then the only reason why somebody would like go to those extents to get rid of the blood is because they don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
The thing doesn't want to be exposed. So they're like, which one of you is it at this point?
That's where the paranoia really starts to kick up.
Yeah, and it puts them in a and I think that was like such good fucking writing, because like at the end of the day, like when you like think about it, you never really find out who it was, but I assume it was Blair who did it.
Yeah, same.
I assume that it was Blair who was the one that sabotaged the blood, And the two other guys were innocent, but just because like they have like this paranoia now, it's like what they're like, one of you guys is definitely the thing. One of you guys is definitely it.
Yeah. And I think that's where from there they start like rounding up supplies and shit and just kind of like, all right, no, everyone like kind of sticks together and we need to figure this the fuck out. And yeah, Gary and Doc, you two are like our prime suspects right now. So also Knowles and fucking, I know Knowles and fucking Matt go out, right? Knowles and Matt go out. Okay. Something happens with Fook or Fox.
Well, one of the things that you end up finding out is like, so one thing that Mac notices is that when the thing takes over your body, it rips your clothes. So he finds a pair of long johns, but the name tag is ripped off, so they don't know who it is. So that's another indication that one of them has been taken over by the thing. And then, yeah,
isn't that also where like Mac, the famous line of like no one trusts no one, like where he's recording, like he's making a tape of like the events that are happening and he's like gonna hide it and to keep on record, but he's talking about how like no one trusts anyone. And then from
him
there,
and Niles end up going out, and I think, like you said, to go and get some supplies.
Yeah.
But we're not taken out with them, but Niles ends up coming back without Mac.
He does, but before that, they discover Fox's body.
Yeah, burned.
Yeah, because at one point the power trips. That's why they go out. The power trips. Fox is fucking in the research area by himself, and he hears something, and it just blacks out.
And that's when we had the whole funny thing about like the candle, and then you being in your cozy
oh yeah,
home
my ultimate comfort zone is, if you want to know like complete bliss for me, is emulating the Sleepy Time Bear tea. I just give me a nightcap, nightgown, and a fucking candlelight by a fire with my cat.
By a crackling fire.
By a and yeah, that is the that is the high I'm always chasing, is that level of comfort.
So yeah, we had joked about it just because it's like the way that
because Fox has got the candle and he's like looking around in the dark and shit. So
no, you're right. There's the power outage.
Yep, there's the power outage. They go out and then they realize that they discover something burnt up, and it's Fox. And you see the flare. So clearly this thing was trying to attack and simulate him, and he decided to do it Friday the 13th Part 5 style and probably take the flare and just light himself up,
Yeah, man, he took the noble way out to protect his boys for sure. Unfortunately, like I liked him as a character, but I wonder how he knew. Right?
I think just reading all of Blair's notes and shit, he gathered a lot of knowledge because he was trying to get Mac on board with like everything.
So maybe he did himself in
up to speed.
Maybe he did himself in before
the simulation can complete.
He might not have even, because like here's my thought process on it, right? If you have been taken over by the thing, it's gonna just take you over.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna not. I don't think you're gonna have time to think, right? So what if he took himself out, even though he wasn't taken over by the alien, right? Like just unalived himself.
Okay.
I got to use that word. I don't want to.
Interesting. Yeah.
Unalived himself before anything could happen, So he wasn't taken over, but he just did himself in.
But there is that scene though where like, when he's looking out in the dark and like I think like it's like assume that like something grabs a hold of him.
Is it?
I believe so.
Possibly. Anyways,
though, yeah. So Knowles and Mac are out there checking out the whole fucking power situation, and they discover again, Fox's body. Then you got the rest of the team, and they're all like fucking like, all right, what's fucking taking them so long? They said 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's been 45. They hear banging at the door, and it's Norris who sees like someone's like making their way over. And it's Knowles, and he's all fucking like frostbitten out.
Oh yeah,
and shit. And he's like, I had to cut Mac loose. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, I had to get some distance, get away from him. And he's like, look what I found. and it's one of Mac's jackets all shredded up, which, we know that when the thing takes on the form of a human, its clothes are shredded.
Right.
So they're like, oh, fuck, it's Mac. So Mac's still out there. They don't want to let Mac in. They're trying to fucking hunker the place down, and they hear a shatter because, like, you could see the door turning, and then, like, I think Windows is like, yeah, well, it's clearly Mac, like, and they're like, well, what if he's the thing? And like, well, what if you're wrong? And then Child's like, well, then we're wrong. Well, we're not letting him the fuck in. And even Palmer's like, fuck it, let him in and let's just fucking blast him. So Mac makes his way into the supply room because they hear the window break, and fucking he's in there, and they're like trying to break through to detain Mac or take him out. And
and he just like throws them all around too as they try to fucking run up on him.
Oh, they try to ambush him, but when they broke open the door, you got Child's like fucking axing through fucking Jack Torrance style, breaking down the fucking door.
Yep.
And
kicks it in.
Yeah, kicks it in, and there's fucking Mac, frostbitten as shit with shaking, but he's got a flare and a bunch of fucking dynamite. He's like, anyone takes another fucking step, we all go.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh fuck. And he just realizes, like, wait, where's the other two? And they try to ambush him again. He breaks free, and he's got the fucking flare. He's like back up, or step back, way back. Way back. Like,
yeah.
Create some fucking distance, man, because he's ready to blow everyone apart at this point.
Kurt Russell's got good lines in John Carpenter movies.
So fucking good. So fucking good. Yeah, so Mac's got the fucking stick of dynamite, and it's a straight up power struggle now. And he's like, give me all your weapons, give me the fucking flamethrower, and we're gonna do this. Oh, okay, hold on. I skipped over. During the struggle, Norris gets knocked over, right?
Yeah. He was also acting a little bit weird, like, prior to this. It's like he kind of like was like showing that like something wasn't right, or he was like having trouble breathing. But this was like in a couple scenes beforehand, so it's like you're like thinking about, you're like, I'm fucking on to you, motherfucker, or something like that. But
so Norris is acting funny.
I love this fucking scene, dude. This is a great scene.
So Norris gets knocked out and stops breathing, I guess, because Knowles goes to check on him. He's like, he's not breathing, this, that. So fucking they untie Doc, and they're like, yo, you got to try like CPR, this, that. And they're like,
you got the defib.
The defibrillator.
Yeah.
And then Doc's like trying to do it with Windows' fucking assistance. And that's where we get the famous scene where Norris's stomach opens up like the big mouth and fucking chomps off fucking Doc's hands, and then like Norris starts to transform into the spider thing with the fucking crazy head. And it just like the dog scene, this is just another one of those iconic scenes where it's like, if you haven't seen The Thing, dude, you've seen this scene.
But it was just so fucking crazy because it's like the thing comes out of his body, right? And then you have the separate head that's like the unformed, like, copy of Norris.
Yeah, with all the sharp teeth.
And that's like hanging out, and like that is fucking crazy. And then they start like shooting at that, right?
Yeah, they start shooting at that. Meanwhile, Norris's actual body's like, his head's like detaching, and the tentacles and shit, and you see it like ripping, and it's like got this like tongue tentacle that's like latched on, so it's like pulling itself. And you'd mentioned like how realistic the effect looked.
Yeah.
And
it was
fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was a 10 out of 10 effect.
Oh,
because
my
it's
gosh,
like
that whole
the fucking
scene.
head was moving, but it was like the face and the articulation of it. It just like literally looked like a human fucking head.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
It was
like how good
fucking crazy. So
how
Mac,
good that scene was.
He's like fucking torching up fucking Norris's thing like body and shit. And they're like, you're setting the whole place on fire. He's like, just wait. And then he sends them in to like put out the fire. But what they don't see is the other head that attaches the actual head of Norris.
Yeah.
Detaches and
because they don't see it detach from the body because they're so focused on the fucking other
the actual like mutated Norris up on the ceiling. And it's great because, like, they got the fire extinguisher. So, yeah, it's clouding up the room. you know, we see Norris's spider head transform, but they
The
don't.
silhouette.
It's so fucking great because it finally comes out, and Palmer's like, says the line, "You got to be fucking kidding."
Yeah, that's probably
And
the best line in it. Once they
Palmer's
see
my
it,
favorite.
the reveal of it,
Yeah.
because like I said, dude, like they're so focused on it. You see it once it transforms, you see it crawling out back behind them.
Yeah.
And then it gets their attention, and then you get the great fucking
Yeah.
Palmer scene.
And it's so good because that would be my reaction after all
yeah.
that shit.
You're
I'd-
dealing with so much stuff,
Yeah.
and you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's so good. So they
You
take out
gotta be
that
fucking
fucking
kidding
head.
me.
And then this is where Max starts to make the theory. He realizes that while torching it, that thing will do whatever it can to protect itself.
Mhm.
And this is where they do the whole blood test scene. Where,
Yeah, like it doesn't just take over the body, it'll take over every aspect of the
Mhm.
body in order to protect itself and to live on. Cuz like in that scene, it started to create the other version of Norris, but then it also took over his head, and that was going to create another version of him, and like didn't his body like separate? Like,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, like it just assumed every other part of his body as well. So, what was the character's name that you had just mentioned?
Palmer?
No, the other guy.
Oh, Mac?
No, the other dude, the guy that we said that Clue Gulager could have fucking.
Oh, okay. Gary.
Gary.
All right, so after they take out Norris's like fucking mutated thing, Max like, we're gonna fucking do this blood test. I want you all tied up, and then we're gonna do one by one because he's got like some copper wire. He's like
Yeah.
taking the rubber off of, and he wants like a petri dish of everyone's
Blood.
blood.
Because like based off of what we had said about.
They all still think it's Mac too. They all still think
Yeah.
they're like, we found your shredded clothes.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll come for you. And he's like, I fucking sleep
Sleep light.
Yeah.
But Gary mentions, he's like, well, if it will do anything to protect itself, like a blood test would be fine, you know, because it's like it's going to try to protect itself at all costs. So if we try to destroy it,
Mm-hmm.
it'll expose itself.
Yeah. And plus, Mac, again, he makes that realization that this thing will do whatever it can to protect itself, even at its most simplistic form.
Right.
So they do the whole blood test. They take the scalpel to the knife, they take the scalpel to the thumb. I think they get, Mac already has his sample, but they start with Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Windows does this thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Windows takes a sample of someone's. They do it first.
Yeah. Windows is the one that's doing the samples.
Yeah, he's doing the sampling, and Mac's just watching. And then they do Mac's sample, and they just start going through all of the characters, right?
And then he's with the flamethrower, Max heating up the copper wire, and he's placing it into the petri dish.
Because his theory is
you'll
like,
get a reaction.
Yeah, to get like, even if it's in its blood form,
Right.
with the hot needle, it's gonna fucking try to
Right.
protect itself and like scamper away or some shit. So they're going through all of the characters.
So we're
I
gonna
think
find out who
they
it
start with
is.
Knowles. They start with
Yeah.
Knowles. Then Windows does his. Then Mac does his, and Childs is like, this is bullshit. This proves nothing. And even Gary's kind of like, yeah. But then,
And Max says, he's like, I'm going to leave you for last.
yeah, Childs. We also glossed over during the power struggle, where Mac has the gun pointed. Clark tries to go for Mac with a scalpel. And
Yes, yeah.
Mac fucking shoots Clark in the head.
Yeah.
So when they finally get to Clark and Doc's,
They test them first.
yeah,
And then Child says, because then you find out that neither one of them are have been infected, right?
yeah,
And then Child makes a comment to Mac, and
he's like,
now
well,
you're a murderer.
you're a murderer.
But yeah, Clark was gonna go at him with a fucking scalpel. So
Yeah.
I mean, he was right in defending himself.
Yeah, it was
It's
kill or be killed in
unfortunate,
that
but,
fucking
you
situation.
know, that's a very
Especially when everyone else is against you, and like, we know it's not Mac, but like, So
Yeah.
the whole blood test. This is another big famous scene. They finally get to Palmer's blood, and they do it, and the fucking blood
Yeah.
just like bursts out, and
Yeah.
boom. And it's great because Childs and Gary are tied up
right next to him.
right next to Palmer.
And he starts
Yeah, he's like all in
convulsing.
the fucking chair transforming because he's been exposed. And they're all like, fucking untie me and shit. And then fucking it breaks free and fucking grabs Windows. And that's where we get like the fucking head fucking monster thing. And it just takes bite of fucking Windows' head. And the effect is great. I mean, it's like, yeah, you could tell it's a dummy attached to fucking Palmer's mutated self, but he's just devouring fucking Windows and like spews them out as they're like torching up fucking at Palmer, who then breaks through the door. And I had mentioned to you that that's the same exact shot from the original thing.
Yeah, when he's on fire.
When he's on fire and runs through the same
the
alien
thing
does
from
that.
another planet.
Yeah, the thing from another planet.
I've never seen it. I own it, but I've never
it's a
seen it. But you
classic.
said
My
that was a very
yeah.
a very special flick for you and your grandpa.
Yeah, we used to watch it like every winter. It's one of his favorites. We'll sit there and quote the movie back and forth to each other. It's one of his favorites. And, you know, obviously one of John Carpenter's favorites because,
Right.
you know, you watch Halloween and you see bits and pieces of the movie.
Yeah, in the
throughout
Wallace house. Lindsay
yeah.
Wallace is watching it.
Just like when I made the parallel of like, okay, so just going back just real quick, they're reviewing footage from the Norwegian camp.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, like all of the Norwegian like research team are like doing an outline of like what appears to be the flying saucer where the thing came from. In the original thing from another world, they do the same thing where they're like, what is this? Like Frozen. And they're like, oh, we found a flying saucer. They do the same exact thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
Little homages and shit, you know, because it is a remake. And John Carpenter said it's like one of his favorite movies of all time.
That's pretty awesome that he got to remake it, but he got to remake it in such a fucking incredible
revisioned way that, dare I say, I love the classic, but this is untouchable.
Yeah.
You know? So now after Palmer like runs through and is on fire, but then collapses like down in the snow, when they finish that off, you've got Windows transforming, so they fucking torch up Windows. And they finally fucking, Childs is like, all right, untie me, this and that, you know? And it's great because like they untie Childs, but then they still got Gary tied up, and he's like, guys, I know shit's been tough and it's been a long day, but would someone fucking untie me? Like he's just had enough because like clearly they know who the fucking thing was,
right?
And like they're all in the clear.
Yeah, they're all in the clear now,
yeah.
So they could kind of like rest a little bit easier now, knowing that they're all good. But Blair is actually still in the tool shed.
Yeah,
and we kind of glossed over another scene too, where you know prior to all of these fucking events happening, they go back or Mac goes back to talk to him, and he's like sitting in there, and he's like telling him, he's like, I'm fine, I'm feeling fine now, I can come back, like you guys need me, I'm okay, just let me come back, and he was like repeating himself and shit a lot. I'm like, I don't fucking trust you, bro.
Also, he was saying like, watch Clark.
Yeah.
You know, before fucking Clark bit the dust, he was trying to pass off, but you know, like something's up with Blair. Like you said, he was repeating himself, just acting really
word
weird.
for word, kind of, man. Just like seemed mindless, you know, not like human. Like,
so after they regroup, they go back because they think, well, fuck, maybe let's check on Blair.
Right.
They go and check on Blair, and the door's busted open, and then they find this underground compartment, and Blair's nowhere to be found. So they go and investigate. So it's Knowles, Gary, and Mac. Childs is off doing something. But they're all armed and equipped. They go down. They're looking for Blair. And as they're a little separated, Blair ambushes Gary and does like almost like the Dead Alive. Remember where like the fingers through the cheeks kind of rip open? Yeah.
He's kind of like his hand is like starting to absorb into Gary's face. It was a really good effect too.
Yeah.
He's like fusing into him.
Yeah, he's starting to fucking absorb fucking Gary. And then like Knowles is like, where the fuck is like?
So we're like kind of getting to the point of like the final showdown of the flick, you know.
And they've also got the TNT fucking switch ready to go because they're like, we're gonna fucking blow this thing apart.
But then they also notice like Mac and Knowles find that. So I mean, it goes without saying that Blair has become the thing, and he's gonna do like anything he can to, you know, take over the fucking the other guys. But with him destroying the helicopter and all the other vehicles and shit, you find like in the fucking basement, like he was crafting with the spare parts his own spacecraft.
Yeah.
I guess to get the fuck out of there.
Yep.
Hightail it out of this fucking bitch, man.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That thing
So,
fucking.
but yeah,
moved.
that was the
Yeah.
discovery that that Mac ends up finding out, and then we have the Gary incident with Blair when Blair absorbs his body essentially.
Yeah, and then fucking Knowles gets fucking taken out. And then we've got this showdown between Mac and the Thing, and Mac's got this like fucking stick of dynamite, and he's pretty much just tells it to go fuck itself and just like throws it, blows it the fuck up. The whole camp now is just one giant explosion. And then we're left with and it's really cool too, real quick, is like at this point the Thing is taken on its biggest form. It's like this super fucking thing almost.
Because it's now it's Blair. It's taken over Blair. It's taken over Gary, and then Nullis. He ends up getting him too. And then it's like his biggest form, and it's got like that side face.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the half face is fucking Blair, and then the other face is just like some like crazy big tooth monster.
Yeah.
But Mac ends up fucking dynamiting the spacecraft.
Yeah.
But then like prior to that though, the Thing tries to go after him. So like goes under like those floorboards or whatever, and then
that's right.
We get like
It's
the
got
whole
that giant,
tentacle
like,
thing
worm
that comes
tentacle
out of the
things.
fucking comes out of the ground and everything like that. So that's worth like saying. Like that was a really cool scene too.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like going to like a crazy. It's like going to its like final extents now to like.
And that's
itself.
when again Mac has that fucking confrontation and battle with the final like the bigger form of the Thing, and he pretty much tells it to go fuck itself and lights the stick of dynamite, throws it directly at it, and just we get this big explosion. The whole fucking research camp is on fire and exploding, and we just see like Mac like posted up.
Yeah,
he's
got a bottle of liquor.
He's got the bottle of J&B. He's got the whole fucking movie, and there's Childs just shows up. And then they're just kind of sitting there, and it's just like, it's kind of like a now what moment.
Yeah, they're the only two left.
They're the only two left, and they're kind of just like looking at each other like, have you turned or you turned? Like, what
given the
do?
circumstances of the movie, it's incredibly understandable.
Yeah.
So, as they say, it's like a very ambiguous ending because you don't know if either one of them are the Thing.
No, you don't. And it's great because, like, you know, Mac's pretty much like, all we can do is just fucking wait it out.
Yeah,
just,
fuck it.
We're going to die out here and just enjoy the warmth, have a swig of the bottle, and
got a
Childs
liquor
takes a
jacket
swig.
on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's it. And the fucking movie ends, dude.
Yeah,
with them
they're just sharing a bottle of liquor and
amongst the chaos.
yeah, and then like we get a nice wide shot at the end of the whole camp burning.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Carpenter's the Thing, and that's the
dun dun
yep,
dun dun.
great fucking movie, dude.
Oh,
I just want to
man.
say though that I want to ask you, like, do you think that either one of them were the Thing at the end of it?
No,
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. I think this is just like, we're just gonna die here. Let's accept it. Like, we still don't kind of completely trust each other, but fuck it, have a swig, and whatever happens, happens.
They're gonna die anyways.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, that fucking creature was not incapable of not freezing or dying. So either way, that thing was going to be frozen.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, the risky thing about it is once it thaws, it comes back alive. It regenerates.
Yeah.
So if either one of them were the Thing, they would freeze to death. And then they would be discovered by, this would make a good
The
part
rescue
3.
team.
Yeah, this would make a good part 3, right? Yeah, they would be by the rescue team. All the bodies would be recovered.
You have to bring the autopsy back, and during the autopsy, boom, thing thaws out.
It would be exactly how this
the simulation and everything.
Yep.
Just as Blair had ran, it would. Yeah.
So, but I mean, either way, but I don't think either one of them were. I really don't.
Yeah,
so.
neither do I. But yeah, that's the Thing. That's John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, I'm fucking glad we covered it, man. I love this movie. I have always loved this movie. This has always been one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Um, he says it's his favorite movie that he's ever made. Just a great flick, man. Just like just good cast of characters, man, and like we fucking said it, before, just like everything that we love about it. Like I love Dean Cundy's cinematography in it. I love John Carpenter's directing style in it. The writing is so good. How they pin everybody on one another is just so great. The visuals are fucking 10 out of 10. Rob Bottin just absolutely
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
knocked this out of the
The
fucking
best
park.
in the game. A lot of people say Rick Baker is, and which, yes, of course, Rick Baker is the fucking man, the legend, but
When it
damn,
comes to
Rob
horror
Bo-
movies, though,
Rob Bottin, though,
because Rick
he-
Baker, man,
he's right
he's
there.
done so much shit, dude. But like Rick Baker is like the finesse and like what he had with just what he has. I'm talking in like the past tense of him, even though we thankfully still have Rick Baker.
yeah.
Rick Baker is definitely like the number one in my book. Rob Bottin, though, man, holy shit! Like,
I gotta say, Rob Bottin's like the number one in mine.
well, he did the
Yeah.
effects in The Howling, didn't
Mhm.
he?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then
it was supposed to be Rick Baker, but he was like caught up.
Isn't
on
that funny though? It's like
Because Rob Bottin studied under Rick Baker.
right, but if we're gonna talk about The Howling, you like Rob Bottin's style better, and you like The Howling over American Werewolf.
Yeah,
And I like American Werewolf over The Howling.
Don't get me wrong, I love American
and Rick
Werewolf.
Baker did American
I
Werewolf.
have the werewolf tattooed on my arm as a little filler.
Yeah.
But if I really had to like break them down, yeah, The Howling, 100%. I'm more on Team Bottin.
Yeah. What do you think, Dan? What's your favorite? What do you like better?
Between The Howling and
Silver Bullet. He says.
Yeah, hell yeah, yo, I love Silver Bullet. But yeah, man, dude, I'm ready to get my rating.
Let's hear it.
This is a fucking 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
This is a fucking 10 out of 10. The plot, the writing, Dean Cundy, like you said, Rob Bottin effects, John Carpenter directing, the fucking cast, all of it. It's fucking perfect.
It
10
is
out
a
of 10.
perfect movie.
That's all I need
Ennio
to say.
Morricone score as well. It's got a really fucking great score. Yeah.
The rewatchability of this is just like...
It's got full rewatchability.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And you know what, man? I think, in that sense, I'll rate it a 10 out of 10 as well.
Sick.
For all the reasons that you said. I love this movie. There's not a single fucking bad scene in this flick.
No.
It does not get boring at
Nope.
all.
It's almost 2 hours and it blows through.
It blows through. We watched it 2 days in a fucking row,
Yep.
and not a single time did you want to just be like, "Oh, this is a drag." Sometimes it happens. This movie, nah, man.
No.
This movie is great.
You're hooked from
10 out
start
of
to
10,
finish.
man.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Perfect flick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a majority of the listeners and viewers have seen this, but if you haven't, we know you've probably seen the dog scene, fucking the scene with what the fuck's his name, with the Pamela Voorhees sweater. I'm drawing a blank. The Norris spider fucking head transformation.
You've seen the effects.
You've seen it.
If you've ever watched AMC Fright Fest when they do like
you've seen
scary
the
moment
highlighted
countdowns and things like that,
exactly.
like they'll always showcase the effects that have been done in the thing
This
because
is
they were very scary and unsettling.
yeah. This
and
is
these
definitely,
actors did. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, you're good.
The actors did such a good job, especially what was your boy's name with the fucking hands? Forget his name.
Oh, Briggs.
Especially like Briggs, man.
Briggs is so
like
creepy.
that was a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He was creepy, man. He sold that shit.
Yeah, so good. I mean, again, like, a lot of people talk about The Thing and, they say, like, this is John Carpenter's best. I can't really argue that. Yes, Halloween is my number one film, but every single little aspect of this movie is perfect. Not that Halloween isn't, in my opinion, but yeah.
And dude, I will always go for that winter, cold, isolated setting.
It really puts you there.
Yo, you're there.
You're there with them.
It's a perfect setting for a movie like this,
Yeah.
man. Like you
And
could
we-
never have done it anywhere else.
Well, we were watching it again this morning. We kind of made the parallels with, like, Hateful Eight.
the reason why Hateful Eight had come up with this was because Ennio Morricone did the score, right,
Mm-hmm.
for The Thing, and some of the unused music
Is
that was made for The Thing, Quentin Tarantino had used in The Hateful Eight. But then we started
making the parallels
furthermore talking more about the parallels between
the isolation in the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one trusts anyone.
Right.
And you got Kurt Russell.
Yep.
And plus, also, not for nothing, Mac is dressed like he's ready for the fucking Alamo. He's got the sombrero. He's got the fucking bullet fucking belt and the gun on the holster. Like real Western shit, man.
Yeah.
real cowboy shit for those that are AEW fans.
It has some similarities, man. You know, as kind of sort of as far as the plot goes for Hateful Eight. You know, I mean, there's not this the scare that, you know. I mean, not for nothing though. Yeah, because somebody there is not who they seem to be in the Hateful Eight.
Exactly my point.
So as much as it's not a creature, it's a person who is pretending to be somebody they are not.
Mm-hmm. In a room full of people set in a fucking isolated
and they're all pinned against
area
each other, isolated,
in the
nowhere
fucking
to go.
winter.
Yep. Interesting.
The parallels are there.
Yeah, the parallels are there, man. Wonder if Tarantino knew that.
Oh, he fucking knew that.
Yeah, and then he just threw his fucking spin on it.
Yeah, exactly.
The GOAT.
So now that we got our ratings, we want to ask friend of the show, Dan Boy, our producer for today. Dan, what are you rating The Thing?
What?
You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You thought it was all right. Listen, everyone's got their own opinion.
Did you really think it was all right?
Out of 10, what the...
Yeah. Ooh,
out of 10, bro.
10, 'cause you guys both got it.
Okay.
9?
All right,
Okay.
a 9.
You're right. Every time you watch it, it's like, dude, it keeps you thinking every time. Like, who is the first one? You know, who started it?
Yeah.
Who's actually infected and stuff? You can't. Every time you watch it, you're trying to like connect the dots every time. At least for me.
And you pick up a little bit more each time. Like things start to make more sense.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
I wish we had you mic'd up because you did say some good things.
Yeah. Well, I think the camera might.
Yeah, we might be able to pick them up.
Yeah,
So
might be able to pick up.
I just wanted to be a wise ass and do the all right thing.
You're such a
I wanted to
fucking
see how
troll.
fucking tight you guys'
This
faces
dude
get.
fucking, sometimes I'm like, I have to like remind myself, I'm like, this motherfucker is trolling me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he knows how to get a rise out
Oh,
of
he
us.
does, dude. He does. So it happens when you're fucking best friends for over like fucking almost 20 years now.
Damn.
You know?
God damn.
God damn, Dan. God damn. God damn.
We're gonna definitely get Dan on though for a special episode. We'll
yeah,
figure
we're
out
gonna
maybe
talk
sometime.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, his favorite movie.
Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
Oh yeah, we'll do the 03 remake that you're so fucking terrified of.
Yeah.
I'm scared of it now. When I was a kid, I was scared of it.
That's a great one. Great remake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Got a couple copies of that bad boy.
Yep.
But anyway, Steven, I think it's time to take us out, brother.
But yeah, that is The Thing. Nick, it's so good to be back. I'm happy we could sit here in person and talk about this fucking perfect movie. Seriously, like, go pick up the fucking Arrow box set or whatever version you can get of it, because physical media matters more now than ever, because even if you own it digitally, you don't truly own it. I mean, I've seen some more articles coming out about like Amazon and shit you purchase on there as far as digital and YouTube.
And they can take it away.
They can take it away just like that.
Unfortunately.
Don't.
They do it with video games too, right, Dan?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that about video games too. There's been the big
Bet
debate.
your bottom dollar. They
Yeah.
did that with the Friday the 13th game.
Really?
Heard about that?
Oh,
Can't
shit.
play it anymore.
See, again, this is why physical media fucking
Unless you
matters.
have the fucking physical copy. If you did the digital download, you can't play it. And I have the digital.
Unreal. Unfucking real. Again, physical media fucking matters. Physical media forever. If you're a big horror fan and you don't own the thing, do yourself a favor and fucking get that shit and put it on your shelf. Especially this box set. You could still find it for a decent price. Like, you don't even got it. Just fucking pick the movie up. All right?
Just go watch the thing. Go own the thing on physical fucking media.
And watch
You
it
can't stress it enough.
during the next time you
Physical
got
media matters.
Exactly. The next time you got it, you're fucking snowed in, you got nothing to do, throw the thing on. I'm telling you, it'll fucking set the mood. You know me, brother. I'm always about a good fucking vibe and
Oh
setting
yeah,
a good
absolutely.
vibe, man.
And even like we were talking the other day, you were like, "Yo, I'm gonna throw in 30 Days of Night," and I'm like, "Yo, that because it was snowing."
During that snowstorm, because I wanted to
was
save the thing for us to watch
Yeah.
in person. So
We
I
were
was
like,
like,
"Oh, I'm like, yo, I'll watch it too." I'm like, I haven't seen that shit since it came out. I'm like, that's another
it still
fucking good
holds up
movie.
so well, man.
You know?
So well. That was a great rewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that storm was hitting hard, bro. It was like snowing, no bullshit, like at least 3 inches an hour.
Were you cozy watching
I
the
was
movie?
all fucking hunkered down, man, all bundled up. I brought in a shit ton of wood. I had that fucking wood stove
Just crackling
blazing,
behind
dude.
you.
Yeah,
You're
as
like,
I'm
"This is a
watching
good
30 Days a
night,
Night,
man."
I was fucking
You had
set,
some good
man.
eats, did you?
Yeah, dude.
Snacks?
We had some beef stew that night with
Okay.
fucking the Bisquick dumplings made on top that my mom likes
Okay.
to do. Yeah, I ate hearty. I was fucking chilling.
Yeah,
fucking
good
smoked
stew
up good.
on a snowy day,
On
man.
a snowy day, I was hitting the
Just to
pen.
warm you up.
Yeah, man.
Hitting the pen?
Hitting the pen for the snowy day. It's a little too cold for joints that day because
Yeah,
it
you
was
can't go
coming
out.
down so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Seriously, go watch The Thing this winter. Do yourself a favor the next time it snows. Nick, I think it's time we say goodbye.
Yeah, man. Let's wrap this up. So take us out, brother.
All right. With that being said, the best way you could support Dead with My Friends podcast is following us on Instagram at Dead with My Friends podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, Anchor FM, wherever you listen to your podcast.
We are everywhere.
Yeah. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really does help the show grow.
And we appreciate it.
And for those new subscribers, new listeners, we thank you all for checking us out, and those that have been supporting us from the beginning. Thank you all so fucking much. Until next time, I'm Steve.
I'm Nick. Peace.
Later.